Rappers revealed that Lil Durk's lawyer's shrewd tactics were the reason for his release from prison. Durk's lawyer just submitted the sneakiest bond proposal I've ever seen, read a widely circulated tweet. The well-known rap attorney lawyers for workers ended up posting this on Instagram, so we're actually going to see him released before Grand Theft Auto 6.
Lil Durk case, his lawyer Drew Finling not giving up on the application for a bond. Now, they were denied last week by a magistrate judge. In federal court, you have a magistrate judge and a district judge. The district judge is on top of the magistrate judge. So if the magistrate judge denies you, you can ask the district judge to take a look at it. That's what his lawyers are doing here. I think this is a good decision because, quite frankly, in front of the magistrate judge who denied Lil Durk, Drew Finling could have pulled a rabbit out of a hat and that magistrate judge would have remanded the rabbit. You have to consider the fact, and I hope the district judge will, that this case, as pled several months ago, has been significantly watered down in terms of how it's being pled against Durk, where you used to have an allegation that we, the government, are going to prove to you exactly who he paid the bounty to. Now the government's saying, oh, we're not going to be able to do that.
The judge in Finland rejected Durk right away because, as Mo said, his case was a clear murder for hire. However, a new court allowed a review of Lil Durk's third bail offer, which is currently $2.7 million. And it was revealed that he will have another chance at freedom. Durk managed to get another bond hearing, this time before the chief judge, although his release will be aided by the events of his previous hearing.
Update on Lil Durk, he had his bond hearing today. He looked good, he looked like he was in good spirits, no crazy weight gain or anything like that. He looked good. The judge was on the same vibes she was on last time, which is that, wait, they're saying murder for hire, they're saying you put bounties up, they're saying you ordered, they're saying I'm saying that's going to be no bond. There's basically no argument you can make to this judge in a murder for hire case to get a bond. Is that the prosecution's case has taken two major hits. One, the prosecution has had to abandon their allegation that he rapped and celebrated about this murder, that he put these lyrics out talking about, oh yeah, I got you, you out here screaming no, no, crying in the street. Prosecution had to back away from that allegation. It was proven false. They need that allegation.
In order to keep Lil Durk from being granted bail, which would lead to his release, the prosecution is purposefully weakening its own case against him.
The allegation they backed away from, which is huge. It shows the weakening of the case. Previously, the prosecution had alleged that Durk paid the bounty for the through one of his co-defendants, and they named the co-defendant. Now they've backed off that allegation. They're not actually saying that Durk paid the bounty through the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy, and now they know we're not going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy.
As he stated, the inability to use Durk's lyrics is hurting the prosecution's case. The authorities only had one piece of proof against Durk, but they aren't even using it now. Ako Durkji to Durk's own lawyer, who called the entire accusation a farce.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Act. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
Durk Drew would ask around the rap community about the songs the authorities planned to use. Even though he knew there wasn't much evidence against Lol, he quickly learned, though, that these songs were very old and shouldn't even be used against him because they may be used as leverage to demonstrate to the judge that the prosecutors aren't even sure what they're doing and are searching desperately for Evid interview ads.
Got the indictment, we noticed, and we started hearing from people in the music world. People are like, this doesn't really make sense. That song, those lyrics were done a long time before that. I mean, we were hearing it from all different directions. We were hearing it from studio people. We were hearing it from people that we're suits to work every day, executives.
Exactly, yep.
And so we were like, we got to get to work here. We got to figure this out.
Following Lil Durk's indictment by a California grand jury on Thursday, the rapper is now facing an additional charge of stalking. In spite of this, Durk's attorney would later claim that they wanted to pursue the case further, but that the new accusations might not be the best course of action. He would even add that they would not accept a plea bargain if one was being discussed.
You know, likelihood of a plea. I think a lot of people have seen like this seems like it's a do or die thing. This is kind of like it's gonna be like a 1 or 0 type of situation. You're either or you're not. Is Durk, from your understanding, or you as a lawyer right now, as his criminal attorney, are you open to possible conversations about plea deals? Are you thinking, no, we're going all the way? Would you entertain it, just entertain it, because that's your job to listen to it and maybe present it to Durk, or that's just off the table?
It's a conspiracy commitment case. It's an all or nothing case, and he did not participate in a conspiracy to commit. And so there is no alternative. It's a life sentence, potential life sentence. So this case is going to go to 12 people.
I'm going to share it with you and explain that everything Lil Durk does online, including tweeting and conducting music interviews, is an expresso First Amendment rights, even though Durk's lawyers are ultimately keeping this in the back pocket.
First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying violence, that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, the First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is violent.
Attorneys are even making online predictions that Durk will be released from prison, similar to what happened with Young Thug, because his circumstances seem so hopeful.
We've seen it happen quite a bit. I don't know that I'd say it's been persuasive. I think the biggest example we look at is Young Thug down in Atlanta. They took a lot of his lyrics, and even though technically speaking, ultimately they got a conviction, he actually walked out on time served. Most of the people that were prosecuted didn't end up being convicted, and I don't think anybody would call that prosecution a successful prosecution. And so, you've got freedom of speech issues. Does it mean that just because I'm saying something in a rap song, it typically is a rap song, does that mean that I actually did something? And this is an extra interesting twist here because Lil Durk's attorney is saying, well, this song was actually released months before.
He went on to explain that Lil Durk's lawyers merely need to invoke the First Amendment to dismiss the case, since the prosecution simply does not understand rap culture, which has happened in rap cases, including one featuring Young Thug.
And I'll go out on a limb and say that sometimes prosecutors don't necessarily understand hip-hop culture. It's almost like a text without context. So you got to really understand the time, the place, the audience. Sometimes they might speak in ways that seem direct to somebody that's outside of the culture, but doesn't necessarily, but can mean several things to someone inside the culture. So it would certainly be a flub, big time, right? But it wouldn't be the first time that such a thing has happened where somebody looking through the window, particularly of hip hop culture, doesn't understand what's being said other than their desired use of it.
However, things do start to get a little unsettling when you go deeper into the most recent Lil Durk accusation. They discovered some of the most startling evidence of coincidence in history. It was almost like a melody wrapped around Durk. Look at the TV and watch your child screaming, "No, nowhere." You may see Quando shouting, "No, now," on the news.
The search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
I found every update after the court records that many people had overlooked, which raises the question of how much evidence they really have. over 230 gigs of digital evidence, which includes audio and video recordings and surveillance footage, as well as 20,000 pages of reports, are being processed for discovery. Comes from a snitch within the F camp, allegedly known as Jam. The feds believe that Lil Durk paid to get these two people dealt with. Number 1, Stefan, according to a court filing. After Jam wore a wire around him, Matt, who got Lil Durk's brother Defang number 2, lost his baby mama. Because Durk is not only the target of Lil Pab's murder, but is also listed in the evidence files for 2 other Chicago killings, the feds believe Jam holds the key to locking Durk up for all 3 crimes. For instance, Jam was spotted muttering, "I ain't," while gripping the top of his jacket during an Instagram live.
I ain't gonna lie, my whole dream change. I ain't gonna lie, feeling like back in the day. Oh my! Give me the check on your man. I heard you got his head. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, when I was growing up, I used to have a dare. Architect. Having a dare. Schools and stuff.
However, Lil Durk knew that Jam was acting oddly for months before he was arrested. Lil Durk knew Jam would acquiesce because, as it turned out, he had been playing 3D chess the entire time.
See shit from a mile away.
I don't think people realize that.
I could have a conversation with you for 5 seconds and know your is gonna cooperate.
5. Durk would go on to talk about it more, saying that you can see he's depressed knowing Jam was caught and that he doesn't even tell his friends where he lives.
Nobody is ever allowed to my house. It be our best friend never been in my house.
For real?
I promise.
Your best friend?
Promise. Like, it's people like that I just don't allow around my girl and my kids, cause it's like I'm just a different type. I'm not the. We can have family night at Durk house tonight. It's the. You gotta watch.
Everybody at Durk's crib.
Yeah, we gotta. Everybody getting watched. We gotta watch everybody. Hey, you go too. Hey, they go too close to them kids. You know what to do. Like, that's how I play. Like, I don't play.
Just to refresh your memory, Durk gave Jam $50,000 during this Instagram live. But it's important to pay attention to the people in the Instagram video's background.
Steady crying, huh? He's steady crying. Feed him. Feed him. Get in the milk, bro. Get in the milk so baby mama get the tripping, bro.
See that?
Feed
for my
him.
baby. That's really how y'all hold y'all babies, ain't it? I gotta hold my money like this. This too much. Crazy though. Motherfuckers sitting up there doing all this. Sneak this and the internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Just not what I want to do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof
Bro got out what?
You know that
How many you did it all?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah, that's your last bit. 12?
12.
That boy popped out 12 years.
Yeah.
So much money. We really was just getting in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
4. The feds investigated the background of the men in the Instagram live and found that they were the same men that traveled to Los Angeles to carry out the crime for Durk and who were also shopping with King Vaughn for jewelry.
Solitary
stone. We just looked at him.
Let's go over there. What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy. Let's go.
They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man stepped in.
As a result, Lil Durk's name is now mentioned in a file on the death of Jam's baby mum, but it is also mentioned in the file about the murderous fawn. This Instagram story, with the caption, "For Danji, Matt," was the first. Indeed, 30 minutes after Stefan Mack's passing, was posted on Instagram. And the following day, LOL Durk can be seen laughing.
Can't see other shit. What? Tweak on my folks. Hey, somebody always said, slap a con. Somebody always said, slap a con.
As the case grew more horrific, the news claimed that prosecutors postponed Durk's chance to be released on bond to obtain last-minute evidence against him for the next hearing. He is not the only snitch against Lil Durk either. Brick Baby was arrested only a week prior. which is likely why he was denied bail during his second hearing, which is when the courtroom was rife with rumors of a new informant. Prior to Durk's bail hearing, it was announced that Big U, Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, and other people were arrested in a rolling 60s gang takedown. The press release said, lawyers and sources believe that Brick Baby, who was arrested in the latest gang takedown, will snitch on rapper Lil Durk. The timing of both arrests makes lawyers believe that Brick Baby will have to give up everything on Durk, since the government first went for Lil Durk. As for murder for hire because of Brick Baby, you might not know that 3 years ago, Brick Baby said in a live stream that they had Lil Pab, which made it hard to say Durk never slid for Vaughn. Brick Baby was live streaming at the time of Lil Durk's arrest, and the stream's producer would bring up Brick Baby's prior interview, making it awkward in the room as though he had caught the federal government's attention.
But was this an attempted hit? Or
Well, they can't say that no more.
Then they put you as
Why?
God.
Like, who died? You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh, who?
Federal charges in California.
Nah, because Lil Pab.
So this is about the...
Oh! What's that?
But I'm just saying, they just say you can't say that no more.
You may be surprised to learn that Brick Baby did something even worse, that they had an atty goat and the place to go. Brick Baby says he is devoted to Lil Durk and would have provided for him if he had requested it. Currently, the federal authorities just need to examine the 10-year-old iPhone.
Then it's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't. But at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, this is my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he had to ask me, I probably would have been coach if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar?
Sure.
I said if he make the call right now, I'd up it.
Right.
5. If there is any connection between the two, Lil Durk's request for that outfit will be terminated. However, Brick Baby's incarceration is also quite interesting because it was made public that Charleston White blames the federal government for Brick Baby's.
I'm the one that put the feds on Brick Baby. I keep telling you, y'all didn't think I'd be playing. When Brick Baby went to Houston and was playing on the internet and put that $10,000 stack on his head and indirectly said, hey, I got some money on Charleston's head. And he continued to act like he was pursuing me. I made a federal report. First, I called Houston and made the report to Houston, but I did this through my law enforcement friend. So, not only that, we filed a report with the feds in LA, along with the LA County Police. I swear to God.
Charleston White, who also doesn't like Lil Durk, was to see him go to jail and regarded it as a victory for the community.
This is a real victory. Now that demonic force was a dark force, it was a dark energy. I think we now finally get to put that fire out. I don't think we'll hear drill music ever again. I don't think drill rappers would ever be celebrated ever again. Down goes the drill. So this is a victory for law-abiding Americans who like hip-hop music but don't like the killing part of it.
But did you know that shortly before Durk was scheduled to be released from prison, his wife, India Royale, was charged with adultery? The message said, Durk's baby mama, India, was allegedly seen at a party with her hand on another man's leg. The fact that it was taking place, and that India would even reply in the morning, would be further demonstrated by screenshots of the video that one of her pals was making public.
Family, do we know you? Yeah, you a grown man. Do y'all remember when men used to like lay concrete, change tires, go to war? Now these niggas on the internet gossiping all day. Like, what's happening?
While many believed it might be mentally damaging to Lil Durk, 6R699 and DJ Academics voiced their thoughts as this went viral online.
Alright, so you want to bet 10,000 right now that hold on.
Talk about some other shit.
We talking about India.
She's a good girl. She's
you met her?
I haven't met her. But
so why are you saying she a good girl? Like
because I hear the drama about everybody's relationship, and I know Any rapper who could say something about me and they got a public girl, I could tell you who your girl off when she was mad at you. Like, I know all of that. I've never heard no dirt about her. Just to keep it a beat. Never heard nothing about her, period.
All right, but she gonna be faithful to the trial.
Yes.
Anything after that?
I mean, you never know how it goes. I mean, if somebody, how does it go if somebody's, again, I'm not wishing upon him, but if he gets life, like, how did that go with your girl? She's supposed to be faithful or no?
Based on the information in this video, do you believe Lil Durk will be released from prison or stay there until his trial? Kindly post a remark below.